Did you know that women at every wage level in nearly every industry experience a wage gap? According to Eisenberg's Access to Justice Ensuring Equal Pay in 2014 at the University of Maryland, a study of starting salaries from medical residency programs in New York found that male physicians made on average $16,819 more than their female cohorts. The regression models from this study controlled 10 variables that could possibly affect the wage rate, including specialty choice, practice setting, number of hours worked, location, etc. But by the results of the study, researchers stated, "We honestly tried everything we could to make it go away, but it wouldn't." The gender pay gap is real, and it is a discrimination against women. Lilly Ledbetter is one of the many women who have experienced this discrimination, but went far enough to have the Fair Pay Act created for all women who have experienced it. You should listen to me because everyone deserves equality, and the Fair Pay Act affects you if you are a woman, and if not, your mothers, your sisters, and potentially your future wives and daughters. So today I'm going to talk to you about Lilly's background and story of discrimination, her case in the Supreme Court, and what the Fair Pay Act did. So first I'm going to start off by talking about Lilly Ledbetter's background and story of discrimination. According to Faces of Change, Lilly Ledbetter's equal pay story in 2012, Lilly was born and raised in Possum Trot, Alabama. She came from a very poor family, and she worked for her grandpa, picking and carrying cotton up and down the long gravel roads of her home every single day. In this, she learned you give a good day's work for a good day's pay. She had to learn this as well when she got married and had 2 kids. And she realized that she would have to be going to work to provide for her family as well as her husband. She started at Goodyear Tire Factory in 1979, working as a supervisor at the night shift, along with 3 male other supervisors. During her time at Goodyear, she was discriminated against, according to the Tulane Law Review Journal article called Raising the Dead, Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act in 2010. The first way she was discriminated against was when her fellow supervisor told her that he would give her a good evaluation if she returned sexual favors for it. When she said no and reported him, she received a new supervisor, but was looked down upon and isolated by her coworkers for turning him in. She described it as getting a taste of what happens when you complain about discrimination. The second way she was discriminated against, and the most popular way, was when she found out she was being severely underpaid for the whole 17 years she was working there. One day, close to her retirement, she received an anonymous note that had her name and the 3 male supervisors' names, along with their pay they received for that month. She found out that she had been paid 30% less than the male coworkers who were doing the exact same job as her. Even the lowest educated male, who had only been there 3 years versus her 17 years, had been paid $800 more than her for that month. She was of course shocked and reported it to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. That brings me to my next point of Lilly bringing her discrimination to the Supreme Court. At her first trial, Lilly was rewarded pay for compensatory damages, but it was later repealed because Goodyear Tire reported that she had been paid that low because of her poor work ethic. However, shortly before the trial and her finding out about her pay, she had been rewarded a top performance reward at the Goodyear Tire Company. But they also used Title VII of the Civil Rights Act that stated a victim of compensatory damages had to file a claim within 180 days of finding out their discrimination. According to Roach's article, Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act, Paving the Way for Equal Pay Claims in the Journal of Academic Perspectives, when Lilly took her case to the Supreme Court, she lost for the same reasoning in a 5-4 vote. Her evidence was considered insufficient because it was too late. But in January 2009, Barack Obama helped her and signed the Fair Pay Act, which brings me to my next point of what the act did. According to Hutchins' article in 2015 called Equal Pay Trailblazer, Lilly Ledbetter turned 77. The Fair Pay Act amended the Civil Rights Act of 1964. By doing this, it allowed the 180-day period for filing a claim against discrimination in the workplace to restart every paycheck. This allowed employees, especially women, to file claims even if they were initially unaware of their discrimination, like Lilly Ledbetter's case. The act was also on Lilly's birthday, which meant it changes annually, symbolizing how far into the year women must work to earn the same amount of pay that would be earned the previous year from males. To bring this to a close, today I talked about Lilly's background and story of discrimination, her case in the Supreme Court, and what the Fair Pay Act did. I hope by hearing one of the many cases of discrimination in the workplace, you could learn how important your voice is. Even though it took Lilly 10 years and a lot of effort to get the Fair Pay Act passed, in the end it was all worth it to her because of equality, and I hope you feel that way too. I'd like to close with a quote from Lilly I got from the National Women's Hall of Fame website titled Lilly Ledbetter in 2015. She said, "I told my pastor when I die, I want him to be able to say at my funeral that I made a difference, and she has made one, and now it's our turn to continue it."